right, 3-3.
We got 3. Oh, Betty, that could show up.
Okay, we could put a title on these notes.
Like that?
We will put a title on these notes. What mode should my calculator be in?
Oh, I thought that was.
Radian.
Okay. It can be in degree mode or radian mode, but the only time you care what mode it is in, is when you touch sine, cosine, and tangent buttons. If you don't touch one of those 3 buttons, it doesn't matter what mode you are in. So these are your 3 buttons. The sine, along with its inverse, the cosine, along with its inverse, and tangent, and its inverse. If you touch one of those buttons, you need to care what mode you're in. If you don't touch one of those buttons, it doesn't matter. So, right now, so there's 2 modes to be in, and what's going to happen is we're going to flip back and forth today. And as we go through the examples, you're going to be able to tell me, oh, I need to be in this mode, or oh, I need to be in this mode. So our first example. Find the trig value. First one, if I want the cosine ratio for a 25-degree angle, I'm obviously going to be touching the cosine button, so I need to care what mode I'm in. What mode should I be in?
Degree.
What's telling you that?
The degree.
This angle is a degree, so you better be in degree mode. And then it's just a matter of typing it in. Not a problem. What is this ratio? Let's go 4 places on the ratios.
0.906.
Okay.
I'm trying to write speech to the punch.
Keep it simple still. What about the tangent of 0.35?
Needs to be in radian,
How do you know we're going to be in radians?
because it ain't got a degree.
Because it ain't got no degree on it. There is no degree mark here. That means this is a radian angle measure. So if I want the tangent of 0.35 radians, I better be in radian mode. How do you change it? Did you find it?
Click mode.
Yep, it's under mode. Mode's right here. The third line is your radian to degree. So what is the tangent ratio if I got a 0.35 radian angle?
0.3650.
That sounds good. Is she right?
What do we switch it to? Oh,
Radian. Okay, how about now we'll switch to the harder ones. The cosecant, and some of you still messed this up on the last test. 1.68. So first I gotta care what mode I'm in, because I'm gonna be touching one of these 3 buttons. What mode should I be in?
Radian.
Radian mode. How do we do a cosecant ratio? Let's do it in 2 steps. Not 1 step, because that 1 step's too, I think people get the 2 things messed up.
Flipped it over.
How did we get a cosecant ratio? What ratio do I need first?
Sine.
Sine. So let's do the sine of 1.68 first. What is the sine of 1.68?
0.994.
9940? Is she correct?
Yeah.
So we can think of that as being over 1. So how do I get the cosecant ratio then?
Flip it back over.
Flip it over. 1 divided by that answer.
I feel like we've done that.
We have, except we were in degree mode. So it is the same section we did back in chapter 2, except we're going to be flipping back and forth between modes.
Yeah.
But some people are still messing this up.
Not good.
So this will be 1 over 0.9940. So what does that come out to be?
1.005.
1 point,
006. You afraid of future?
Okay,
I'm trying.
one more.
Ouch.
The cotangent of 3 pi over 7. No,
It's short. If it doesn't matter what mode, just calculators, remember sine, cosine, and tangent, you just keep it degree.
well, I wouldn't want to be in degree mode and do this problem. So this is a radian angle, and I touch the sine button, sine of 1.68. Right.
Since you can take.
Well, then I wouldn't want to be in radian mode if I was doing the first problem.
For anything else on your calculator, if you're not dealing with those, doesn't matter what.
Nope.
No,
Mm-mm.
No, so like,
maybe not. Maybe that's not what it is.
No.
Go on.
I don't.
Okay, let's just move on.
Way to
Okay.
go.
I was trying to help out a friend.
I'm going to be touching the tangent button, I think, eventually here. What mode do I need to be in?
Radiant.
Radian, there is no degree here. This is a radian angle. How do we get this? Let's do it in 2 steps. Type in
And
tangent of 3 pi over 7.
Divide by that by 1.
So the tangent of 3, well, I don't know what mode I'm in.
I'm just on the ball today.
Pi divided by 7. I don't know what mode I'm in. Mode. I'm in degree. Radian. Is that, so 4.3813? So I've got the tangent ratio. How do I make it, turn it into the cotangent ratio? Flip it over. So to get the cotangent, I'm going to go 1 over 4.3813. But how am I going to do it quickly on my calculator?
1 divided by?
1 divided by answer. I think if you do these in 2 steps, it's going to make more sense in your brain. Because you won't get confused with when we're finding an angle, and it's not a 1 over. So 0.2282.
Yes.
So the mode you are in is determined by whatever angle measure is given. Correct? Got that? That makes sense? Okay. Number 2. Find
Like the deodorant.
the trig value, but I want an exact value this time. These were approximates. We were chopping off the decimal. I want exact values this time. Does the calculator give me exact values?
No.
Almost never. What gives you exact values?
Your
Circle sheet. Revise your circle sheet. What did I do with my circle sheet? I think I threw it away.
it's start.
I don't have one. Well, we'll survive. Okay, everybody's got their circle sheet out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would like to know the cosine of 2 pi over 3.
At least.
I want the cosine ratio of 2 pi over 3.
I got you, Mr. Schwartz. I know what it is.
What is it, Kenley?
It's negative 1/2.
Is she correct?
Yes.
Let me know when somebody's wrong. Everybody know where to find that? Michaela, did you find it? Okay, just checking.
Oh.
You look like you might have been lost there for a second. Austin, did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay. How about the cosecant of 10 pi over 3?
I see this already. Okay, I got you. Ready? So cosine is sine in a Halloween mask. So we're gonna go over to our what? I think you're on already. Oh.
She's on the right track. What? Could you find 10 pi over 3 on there?
No.
Can you simplify it?
Probably. Do you know how big this is? Do you know? Like, I have no concept where that's at.
It's probably twice as
If we
big.
put it into degrees, we're probably going to see that it's over 1 full rotation, which is why it's not on there. So anytime I can't find the angle, I turn it into degrees, and I usually can figure out why. So this is the same as the cosecant. How do we take 10 pi over 3 and turn it into degrees? How about get out of radians, divide by pi,
How about no?
and then multiply by 180. So what's 10/3 times 180? So I got 600 degrees. Does that explain why you couldn't find it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is 600 degrees. So what can we do to get down to something that we can find?
Minus 360.
Subtract 360 from it. So now we are at the cosecant of 240. Can you find the cosecant of 240 degrees?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have the talent to do that? Cosecant.
Negative, oh, I know the answer.
Negative 2 over square root of 3, but then it would be
Negative 2 square root of 3 over 3.
Very good. If you hit it with a 1, all at once. Does anybody need me to show the hitting it with a 1, the flipping and hitting?
no.
Math frac.
Frack. All right. How about the sine of 120 degrees? Dude, that's easy. What is it then? Dude.
Alright, dude. So we go over to our 120.
Yeah.
And we go
We're
over
gonna be
to sine. Did you raise your hand,
Right.
Kate?
No, you did.
Okay, yeah, so I've got ice powers. So you need to watch that.
So it is square root of 3 over 2.
Yes.
And our last one here in this section is the tangent of a negative pi over 4.
This is all we're doing.
Oh no,
Oh, okay.
in this number 2.
Oh, no.
We still have to find angles yet. It's almost done though. It's just this kind of stuff. How about the negative angle, negative radian? Can you find that on your sheet?
Not existent.
It does exist.
The limit does not exist.
What does it mean to be a negative pi over 4? You're just going backwards, pi over 4.
Oh.
So what is pi over 4? How many degrees is that? So it's 45 if I go positive. So if I just go 45 negative,
315.
what's the tangent now?
Oh. Negative 1.
Negative 1. Yep, this is not looking for an angle measure, it wants the tangent ratio. Are we good with that?
Wait, why is it negative?
Because you're going...
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but where did you get 45?
Because it's pi over 4, and pi over 4 is right there, so it's positive. And that's 45 degrees that way. So to make it negative, you gotta go 45 degrees this way, which is at 315. That's the stance we go there.
Oh.
Nice explanation.
She did it in her voice. I did that to my
Okay,
I did that to my
Oh, what?
mom. She didn't know what to do, so she just walked away.
find the angle measure.
You know how like we sometimes when you don't know what to say, she just like hear mid-sentence, she goes, good. And just walk away. That's
Theta. When the cosine of some angle equals 0.9641. Okay. I'm obviously going to be touching the inverse buttons here because that's how we find angles. So I need to care what mode I'm in. Is there anything in this problem that's indicating what mode I'm in?
Radiant.
How do you know?
Because there's no degree.
Well, there wouldn't be one there. It would just be theta.
Oh.
I did not give you enough
Theta
information
is
yet.
radian.
They have to tell you what kind of angle this is. So off to the side they'll say theta is going to be between, they'll give you a little range, 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So now I know that I want a degree answer. So they can't just give you this and expect you to know it. They have to give you extra information about the angle. So, this tells me to be in what mode? What mode you gotta be in? Degree mode because it wants a degree angle.
Yes. Feel like getting.
So, put yourself in degree mode, and then how do I get the angle?
Sine of...
Okay.
What do I do to both sides to get an angle? Inverse cosine. Inverse cosine. So you type in inverse cosine of 0.9641. And if you're in degree mode, it will give you a degree answer. If you're in radian mode, it will give you a radian answer. So what is the inverse cosine of 0.9641?
15.399.
So 15, let's go to the nearest degree. So 15 degrees,
So 16 degrees.
16 degrees,
No.
15, I don't know what she said.
I forgot where the 9s were.
Okay, same thing, we're going to find an angle. The secant of theta equals 2.63. So right now I have no idea whether they want the degree measure that gives me that or the radian measure that gives me that. So the extra information will be next to the problem. So what does this interval tell me?
Radians and radians.
This is a radian interval from 0 radians to pi over 2 radians. So this tells me just to be in radian mode. So switch back to radian mode and we're going to stay there, but this is radian mode. That's the indicator that this interval is a radian interval. This one was a degree interval, so we needed to be in degree mode. Okay, now, I don't have an inverse secant button.
But you have a...
So I need a ratio here that I do have. What ratio can I get from this one?
You can get cosine, which will equal 1.
The cosine of the same angle equals 1 over 2.63. So if you take the time to rewrite that ratio, now how do I get theta?
The inverse.
I'm going to do the inverse cosine on both sides. Theta equals, and then you just type in inverse cosine of 1 over 2.63. So put it into a ratio you know, then do the inverse cosine. So what is the inverse cosine of 1 divided by 2.63? 68 degrees sounds about right. Oh.
What?
Oh, nope, that's wrong. Why is that wrong?
1.18 degree.
You're in degree mode. I asked for a radian. So what is it? 1.18
1.8.
radian.
So that's the answer?
That's the answer. One more of these. The cosecant of some angle is 1.11, and this angle is between 0 and pi over 2. So this is the indicator that you need to be in radian mode. We don't have an inverse cosecant, so we have to convert to what ratio? Sine is going to be 1 over 1.11. Then what do I need to do? The inverse sine of 1 over 1.11. Yeah.
Okay, so like, is there an inverse cosecant, and then just put it on the calculator because you can do it with time?
Correct. I think the 89 calculators actually have those 3 buttons, but
1.12.
1.12. Geez, got a lot of 1s in this problem. Radians. Okay, our last set of problems. Good? Okay. Number 4.
Is our last one?
This is it. Sine
How many lines is it gonna take?
theta. Just like before, I got 3 of them. The cosine of some angle is equal to square root of 3 over 2. And this angle is between 270 degrees and 360 degrees.
Oh, we're using our circle sheet.
Oh, we are using our circle sheet. Good call. Why are we using our circle sheet?
So be fast.
Because the calculator only gives you the smallest angles that have this ratio. When this is in, what quadrant is this in?
This is a quadrant.
Fourth quadrant. You need to have your circle sheet for this. The calculator won't give you this answer. So how do I find this angle?
You look for the square root of 3 over 2.
In the cosine spot. So look in the cosine spot in the fourth quadrant for square root of 3 over 2. And what'd you get for an angle?
330.
330. Is that correct? Do we want the degree or do we want the radian?
The degree.
How do you know I want the degree?
What degree?
Because the answer says give me an angle in between these two degrees. So I want a degree, not a radian. So this little extra piece of information always tells you what form to put your answer in. Alright, the cotangent of some angle is equal to square root of 3 over 3. And this angle is between pi and 3 pi over 2. So what kind of answer am I looking for?
Radian.
A radian. What quadrant are you looking in?
Is this quadrant 3?
It is. So this interval will always be a quadrant. So this pi is at 180, and 3 pi over 2 is down at 270. This is quadrant 3. And we want a radian angle. So what radian angle has that ratio?
4 pi over 3.
Is it what?
What's 3?
Pi over 3.
Justin, what's your question?
What's 3 radian?
Quadrant 3, and we want a radian answer.
Wait, how do you know that's in quadrant 3?
Because pi is at 180, if you find pi,
Okay.
and then 3 pi over 2 is down at 270. So you're looking between those two.
Will they always be like that?
They will always be
Perfect.
quadrants, yes. They will always be on quadrant values there. So did you find this angle? What did you say it was?
No.
It's cotangent. Oh, so what would the tangent be? If we flip this back over, what am I actually looking for? The tangent of the same angle would be 3 over square root of 3. If we hit it with a 1,
3 square root of 3 over 3.
does anything simplify?
Yeah, that's just square root of 3.
So you're looking for the tangent to equal square root of 3. Well, that's why that was hard to do.
240.
So close. So close.
Degree. 4 square root of 3 over 3. Square divided by. I can't talk. 180. 4 square. 4 pi over 3.
There, I want
I
the
got it out.
radian.
Oh.
What's the degree where it was at?
240.
240. What's the radian that's there? 4 pi over 3?
Yeah.
So this tells me two things, where to look and what
That was so difficult.
mode of the answer to be in. Go one more.
Wait.
What?
So, wouldn't it be 7 pi over 6?
I have no idea. We're looking for
The
tangents to be
tangent?
square root of 3.
That's at 210 degrees.
Yeah, that's.
Is it 210 or 240?
210.
240.
No, it's 210. It's 210.
You guys. 240. What are you 40? Seriously?
Tangent, square root of 3, looks like it's at 240 to me. Oh, although you got a square root of 3 there too. These should not be the
I have
same.
a square root of 3 over 3 for.
So do I.
Square root of 3 over 3 for 240. Yeah, I have it for last time.
No, it's square root of 3, that's what I have for.
This should be square root of 3 over 3.
Yeah.
Wait.
210 should be square root.
That is correct. This should be square root of 3 over 3. This should be square root of 3 over 3. This should be square root of 3 over 3. So 240 is correct. How did you got this, and this all need to change?
I had them right, and then I changed them.
Why would you do that?
We had those, and then I got.
Oh,
Wait, so
Everyone keeps that case right.
210
How long have you been having them?
3 over 3.
and then 240 is just square root. Didn't we
Correct.
check these one day too?
Yes, we did.
Wrong.
So just all of them.
You go, Brad.
Those top ones there, yeah, are
No,
over
it was
3.
mine, oh, mine's right.
Woo!
Somebody was just too
How you
overconfident.
doing that?
Well, let's go with one more, see if we can find any more mistakes.
Well, I just figured out why I did bad on that one test involving the circle cheat sheet.
Can you move it up, please?
Yep. Okay, obviously, which quadrant are we looking in? 4. What kind of answer do I want? A radian answer, so we want one of the pi answers. We don't have secants on there. What do we have that we're going to look up? Convert this. What am I looking for? If I flip this back over, what ratio am I going to have? Cosine equals 1 over square root of 2, but I'm not going to find that on my sheet. I got to hit it with a 1.
Square root of 2 over 2.
So I'm looking in the 4th quadrant for the cosine to equal square root of 2 over 2.
Which would be 315.
I want a radian.
7 pi over
Right.
4.
Okay.
Okay. I've got a worksheet for you today.
Huh?